on 1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport.
With today's outrageous religious differences, consider this. As John, the producer, and I were talking, he said, just imagine how much more inflamed events if the religions involved didn't share the same God. Could get out of hand, couldn't it, if it weren't for that fact? So my question to you is, could, if we're looking to stop the situation getting out of control, could incitement to riot apply to these events? Could incitement to riot apply to these events? 08704 20 20 20, 08704 20 20 20. Battle zone paras run out of bullets. That was the headline. Well, they did say the British troops were going to be stretched, and the Defence Secretary, Des Brown, denied that they were ill-equipped, but admitted they were stretched. They were out of bullets. More like a cartoon event. Don't these mothers' sons deserve some communication? And how do they think this is going down with the families at home? Not good at all. So, can you imagine how vulnerable they feel? Can you imagine how their families feel? And this is the stuff we're hearing about. This is not the stuff they're trying to keep from us. So the number, 08704 20 20 20. You can text me on 81089, that's 50p plus your regular handling charge, or send me an email to talksport.net. Ken's in the Highlands. Hello, Ken. Hello, Ken. I think Ken's on a secret mission all to himself. Tony's in Enfield. Hello, Tony.
Hello there.
Hello.
Great programme. I think that talkSPORT is a breath of fresh air for everybody to get involved.
Well, thank you. Did you have an action man when you were a kid?
Action man? No, I had nothing. We come from a very poor background. We had trouble paying the rent. But anyway, the reason why I phoned in this, statement made by these Muslims, I just believe it's incitement to cause madness. I think it's a form of madness. Whether you're Muslim, Orthodox Jew, Christian, whatever, to talk about God, that nobody's got his phone number, his mobile, his address, nothing. Nobody knows where he comes from, but he's up there. You can go to heaven if you die and you're a good man, you're 70, 80 years old. You'll have all these virgins waiting and you have to take Viagra with you. You won't be able to get an erection. I'm not being rude, but it's absolute madness. And I can actually, just laugh. I can fall off the chair laughing at these people.
Well, mind how you go. Whatever you do yourself any harm. Thank you for that. Original toy hero of Action Man returns to shelves for its 40th birthday. It's 22 years after being pushed to one side. They said, no, we don't need it. But suddenly, now they do. Is it just because the world's on a military footing, almost? If you did have an Action Man, did you hide it when you got a girlfriend? Like, oh, don't put him on the bed. Quick, put him in a cupboard. What did you name it? 08704 20 20 20. Differences, outrage, people talking about bullets flying around. The only place that they were flying around was in Afghanistan, but the British Army were there and they didn't really to fire back. I do think our army is being very poorly supported. It's not good enough to say we're stretched. No. Not good enough at all. Nearly 8 out of 10 shopkeepers believe the police are not doing enough to crack down on shoplifting. A poll of more than 10,000 stores found that retailers felt abandoned by the authorities in their fight against crime. 9 out of 10 retailers say retail theft is low on the government's agenda, while 77% say police response times aren't good enough. That's according to the British Retail Consortium survey. Is this true? Do you work in shops? Are you in that position where somebody steals something and you think, we won't call the police because the time we've hung on for 20 minutes and I'm taking your call, it'll all be gone anyway? I'll be very interested to hear from you. 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20. Right, who should we talk to next? Ken in the Highlands. We'll give you one more try. Hello, Ken? No. It's all a bad dream. Simon's on the M1. Hello, Simon.
Hi, good evening.
How's it going?
Very well. Nice and quiet. I should have a quick journey.
Oh, good.
It's about the Pope. When he was a mere cardinal, I read the other day that he headed up a group called the Commission for the Doctrine of Faith, which is Vatican Spin Central, essentially, the guys that are responsible for the consistent teaching of the faith throughout the world. So they say this guy was a hardliner. His position personally was that he's a hardliner with the faith.
Yep.
But that's his job to be a hardliner, to maintain a consistent message. It's not his personal feeling, or it may well have been, but it's also his job to do that. So at the weekend when he made these comments, or before the weekend when he made these comments, you know, it's not surprising that he could be so inflammatory. As I say, that was his job. Interestingly, though, was apparently that the Commission for the Doctrine of Faith and the Papal Office are two independent units within the Vatican, and that there's no relationship between the people that work in one or the other. So it's interesting how he could become the head of the Doctrine of Faith and then become the Pope. Not really sure whether there's anything sinister there. I'm sure there isn't.
No, but it reminds you that if he were writing something, he would be writing it with the perception of how it would land on other territories' doorsteps. So, and quite likely, he knocked off the draft and then gave it to his secretary to straighten up. And then he would look at it and initial it and say, yeah, we'll use that one. So my point being is, he knew what he was doing.
You're absolutely right. Anybody, I mean, you have to assume this guy's an extremely intelligent chap.
Well, he's a politician. He's a grand politician.
Well, like politics, these religions are systems of control, as opposed to a faith, which is completely different, I feel. He absolutely knew what he was doing. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. Just wanted to make that point, really.
Thanks for making it, Simon. Drive safe. Thanks for that. The number is 08704 20 20 20. Schools refuse to compromise with junk food mothers. The headmaster tells rebels that passing chips and burgers to pupils undermines their prospects. The headmaster said there would be no compromise, and that will end the rebel mothers who've been making daily deliveries of junk food for his pupils. This is all at Rawmarsh School in South Yorkshire, and it's become a reluctant focal point for the nation's debate on healthy eating since it emerged that two mothers were passing chips, burgers and fizzy drinks to children through the school railings. Well, some mothers will indulge their children. Some mothers do it even though somebody's told them it could be a health hazard. My question to you is, what do you do with those mothers? I mean, you're talking mature women. They can run a household. What do you have to do to make them realise they're getting it wrong? John is in Horsham. Hello, John.
Hello.
Hello, John.
How you doing, mate?
Yes, okay. What are you up to?
Yeah, Mao Zedong, Hitler and Stalin all believed in free speech as long as it coincided with their viewpoint. Sometimes some radio presenters should take that in mind, or maybe the producers of the radio shows, but never mind.
That'll be that then. David's in Birmingham. Hello, David.
Is that Mr. Mike Allen?
It is.
Right, I'll switch my radio off, sir. Now, I was talking to your producer about the more serious subject of James Whale, your colleague, revving his car in a anti-religious way.
Yeah.
Now, it sounded to me, Mike, like a 2-litre diesel engine in a Land Rover Freelander, but your producer tells me I'm wrong.
He's right. He's right to tell you you're wrong, because you are.
So it's not a 2-litre diesel engine in a Freelander?
No.
Has he sold this Freelander and moved on to something more posh?
I never saw him in a Freelander. Did he have one?
I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Guessing.
Right, I think he did, yeah, some years ago. Anyway, as a humanist, can I agree with Mr. Whale? I think he made a very important point, actually, amongst all his jokes, which is that, I agree with Mr. Whale what he said, that there is misguided thinking with both Muslims and Roman Catholics. So it's not a question of, whose side are you on, the Muslims or the Roman Catholics? I'm on neither side. Like James, I think both religions are extreme religions, and they are both misguided. But I would like to say, if one has to take sides, as an atheist, I'm not on either side, a humanist, Mike, to be serious for a second, this appalling shooting of an unarmed Italian Roman Catholic nun working in a children's hospital in Somalia, did you know they shot her in the back?
I didn't know they shot her in the back. I knew they shot her, but I didn't know it was in the back.
two Muslim gunmen went into this children's hospital in Somalia. This Italian woman, who's a Roman Catholic nun, was shot dead for no reason whatsoever. And one wonders if it was some hysterical response to the Pope's quotations from the guy from the 14th century. What do you think? I mean, was that in the minds of the Somali gunmen? That's what I'm trying to ask you.
I mean, Somalia itself is going through a terrible situation, so it could be a protest on behalf of the Somalian people.
What, to shoot a woman who works in a children's hospital?
I don't have the ability to get into the mind of a gunman, and perhaps you don't either, David. Let me have a quick word with Tony, who's on the A404. Hello, Tony, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. As feelings running very high on the programme this morning, as people are saying, you know, this isn't good, this is bad, and I can understand that, because you're looking at powerful situations, powerful emotions. Is that... Oh, you're called about the Action Man.
I've called to lighten the tone.
I'm so glad you did that. They've started bringing them back, and the great news about it is they were very special toys for boys, because they would give them names, and there were about 20 different versions. There were sailors, airmen, and stuff.
Just so you know, I'm a toy salesman by trade.
Well, that's pretty rare, isn't it?
There's a few of us about. And worked for the company that produced Action Man up until 2003.
Right.
The reason it was withdrawn in 2003 and replaced with a product called Action Teams on Machines is basically kids didn't want to play war. There was no demand.
No, well, I suppose they're going to be imitating what they see on the television now, so...
Well, they'll if they're imitating anything, it's what they're playing on their PlayStation games. Because that's the simple fact is, when a kid gets to 5, 6, 7, they want a PlayStation. They want a MP3, a mobile phone.
Don't they want a little friend to cart around with them?
I don't think so. I don't think they need one in the solitude of their rooms. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's what's happening.
And it's really that sad. It's kids marooning themselves, for want of a better description, in their rooms and not coming out.
Well, it's that, and it's a factor in the toy industry that's called Kagoi, kids getting older, younger. Without going into too much detail, Action Man in its last few years was targeted at 3+. So
what are they bringing it out for?
There's a war on.
I wasn't all wrong. I wasn't all wrong.
Yeah, no, you're not all wrong, and there'll be some market for it, and there'll be a bit of nostalgic dad purchasing going on, I guess. But I think really it's as a toy concept, without being on kids' TV, can't see it happening.
That really is a thing, isn't it? And talking about television and stuff, did you see anything tonight, their coverage on diets for school meals and things like that?
I didn't. I'm actually up at this time because I've just become a dad yesterday, so...
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. What's the name of your child?
A baby girl called Jodie.
Oh, that's nice. So you can look forward to many years when she'll be up in her room.
Hopefully playing with good, wholesome toys.
Yes, and definitely not a fatty diet.
Definitely not a fatty diet.
Good luck to you and your wife, Tony.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks so much. talkSPORT. They're talking about some outrageous times the last couple of days with people who claim to follow the Islamic faith sitting holding up very, very insightful banners. I just wonder, could incitement to riot apply to these events? Is that the way that the police could get a hold on it? Or maybe they've decided they don't want to. 08 704 20 20 20. John in Birmingham.
How you doing, all right?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm just ringing up just to say about concerning the things over the Pope, or the few words that he did have to say, and concerning, like, the Muslims jumping on the bandwagon over it, just because a few words are said. What would happen if we went over to their country and started setting up Christian church all over the place? Not so much freedom as what they have over in Great Britain. It seems like anything that's ever said or upsets anything to do with the Muslim religion, that the bandwagon seems to start rolling out, and everyone jumps on it all of a sudden.
Well, back to your question about what sort of reaction you get, I don't think it'd be terribly welcome.
Yeah, I know that, obviously, because in this country that we're so easygoing. I'd like us to go to their place and start setting up Christian churches all over the place. I don't think it'd be stood for myself.
No, certainly wouldn't.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. I think that's where we're getting too soft. That everybody, Tom, Dick and Harry, wants to jump onto the bandwagon once anything's said against their religion. And at the end of the day, it is only a religion.
Well, it means a lot to them, but I do think they've got to bear in mind they've got to share the world with everybody else.
Yeah, well, why can't we share it 50-50 and we go over to their place and set up churches everywhere? Would that ever happen?
No, John, not in a million years. Thank you for that. David's in Croydon. Hello, David, you're on talkSPORT.
Yeah, the Horlicks, yeah, your Ovaltine. Matron says you mustn't overdo it, you know, you've only got 2 days left.
I haven't got the racing trousers on.
Is it 2 days left you got?
Let me just give out this phone number, because I have to remember to do it. It's 08704 20 20 20. We're talking about recent events. We're also talking about crocodiles, big cats and wolves, because it's a jungle in the countryside.
I'm locked.
Sorry?
I'm locked in my little room, so can I make a comment about policemen?
Yes.
If you got an O level, you're overqualified. Shoplifting, it says on your screen.
Shoplifting, it says shoplifting.
Since when have the police been an arm of business?
An armoured business? An
arm of business. They've got more important things to do, but I don't know what they are.
Well, I can remember the police being called when someone was found guilty of shoplifting.
What, you mean, allegedly? They're found guilty in the court?
Well, found reported for shoplifting,
Yeah, but I mean, we have people in Croydon stabbed on trams, and we have a near riot of 30 kids last week. What are the priorities of the police?
Maybe we've just reached the parameters, and they aspire to have priorities. They just curse with parameters.
Well, I'm feeling old after listening to your show because I predate Action Man. I'm Baco and Meccano and Monopoly and all that.
Bakelite?
Baco is a building set. You had rods and little tiles that slipped in and bay windows and roofs.
Bay windows? My goodness, it's a trainee estate agent's outfit.
Mike, it's nice to speak to you. You're a true professional.
It's nice to talk to you.
And if you've only got 2 days left, I'll ring you on Wednesday.
Okay, now I've got 1 day left. That's tomorrow.
Only 1 day left?
That's it.
Cranky. Who's your governor? It's not that guy from GWR, is it?
No, I don't know. Not quite sure who it is actually, because you know there's more than one. We'll try Ken for the last time. Hello, Ken. No. Tell you what, Johnny. Ken is a lost cause. I think he's gone to sleep. I think I can just hear him going quietly.
Hello.
Hello, James, live from Solihull. Good morning to you. Sorry to keep you waiting. I was a bit worried about Ken because he's calling us, and he said he's calling us from the Highlands in Scotland.
Well, maybe he's gone to Lowlands. What I was going to say was about the amount of people that are coming into the country and, if you like, being out of control with us being able to have exact numbers. I think the government have had an estimation of what the population is, and they're way out. I mean, for us to have a census now, you know, everyone would be shocked. I think the general public realise that there's far more people in the UK than is recognised, and there's no real way of actually finding out, you know, the exact numbers. The only way I can think of is for basically everyone, and it's a contentious issue, is to have some sort of, you know, ID card to make you a British citizen. If you've got that,
do you think that will do it? I mean, what about people
who... Well, if you've got it, you know, be proud of it, you know, and say, you know, I'm a British person, here's my
card.
But
just hang on a minute, James. It's got to cost a fortune, because it's got to have retinal prints, fingerprints...
No, I wouldn't go as far as that. You know, I mean, passports don't cost a fortune.
So it'd be very easy to produce a fake one, then?
Well, you know, you can produce fake, you know, stamps. You can produce fake £50 notes, and you can produce fake, you know, cards.
So what worth is it? What worth is it if it's fake?
It's just really to get the numbers, you know. That's what it is.
To get the numbers.
Yeah, to get the numbers of the people.
But do you not think they might have heard you say that and not come out?
Say?
Do you think they might have heard you say that and not come out?
What do you mean?
Well, in other words, they might actually figure what it's all about.
Yeah, but if they should get, you know, if you wanted to go to National Health, you have to produce your card. If you're British and you haven't got a problem with yourself, there's no problem to do that. You know, if you want to collect your pension, you have your card. If you're on the dole, you have your card, you know. And be proud of it. If you're a legal immigrant or you shouldn't be in the country, you don't have a card, and then you're not able to have these services.
Can I ask people if they like that idea, if they'd rather stamp that if it came out?
Yeah, I mean, not to carry all the, you know, information about all your DNA and all this stuff. It's just basically an ID card to show that you're a British citizen and that you're entitled to be here and proud of it.
Thanks, James. James calling from Solihull. Would you go along with that? Do you think it's about time we start issuing cards? Or are they just too easy to copy? Yeah, 08704 20 20 20 or email talksport.net. We'll take a pause, be right back with Pauline. Hello, Pauline, how are you? Very quiet at the moment, actually. It's all right. I'm going to take a short pause. I'll be right back to talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay. 08704 20 20 20. This is talkSPORT.
On 1089 and 1053 AM and DAB digital radio, talkSPORT.
Police patrols have been increased around hundreds of churches and mosques because of fears that the Pope's comments about Islam could provoke violence. Will this news start a preparedness to believe in a return to ID cards? Had a caller just now, and he's made the point. If we did that, we'd at least get a handle on the amount of people we got in the country. Would it help? I don't know, it couldn't hurt. 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20. Pauline's in Sutton. Hello, Pauline.
Hi, Mike. You have to be a very special person for me to ring in, and I want to hear from the management if you can have a permanent slot.
Wow.
Because I think you're excellent, you're nice sort of personality and everything, and I only ring in to people if they're special. I'm choosy.
Wow. Thank
Great
you.
honour.
Well, thank you very much.
You're fabulous.
Well, any more, I shall get blushing if you do any more. But
you'll have to reach out for more rouge, won't you then?
I can remember speaking to you at other places.
Yeah, I know. The other station.
Yes.
No, this one's the best.
Yes.
Goes out all over the country and through Freeview and internet.
Yes, it's
get more people listening, you see.
Yes, a lot of people listen. It's very, very popular.
It is, and you've got such a gorgeous voice, you know.
Oh, dear. You want me to call you up and give you the market garden report,
don't you? Mine's a mixture, as you know, Yorkshire, Lancashire, Southern, the whole lot.
Yeah.
But I look different to what I sound. Posh. Now, I wanted to talk, have you heard the Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Atkinson's remarks about childhood?
About childhood?
Yeah, about this lost childhood, about kids today.
Oh, yes, yes, there was about 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah, and strangely enough, it's not away from what most people are thinking.
No. And, well, although in modern times, and children, they don't go down the mines, that was bad. But I think they seem to have this lost childhood. The 1950s, 60s, when I grew up, 70s, kids made their own entertainment. They used to play out in the fields, they used to build things.
You'd heard me talking to the guy who just had a little baby girl called Jodie, and he said to me there's a syndrome with kids now that they grow up too soon.
Well, they're little adults, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems that way.
They wear, in the way they go and choose clothes, what they want out of wardrobes, what they wear, what they buy. When they go out in the streets, you see people, I'm not having that, not having this, not having that food. This is what they're like now. They're like little mini adults. And I think although they played on streets, well, we had fields next to farms, streets and things, you used to see old films of them, kids playing out, happy, they did hopscotch, they did ball, all different games. And it's not safe now due to increased traffic and crime But I think many hours are taken up with computer games. I mean, years ago you had the family games, and you got to know your children, and they got to know their parents because they were more involved than them looking at a screen. And I think that many skills, it leads on to this now, are absent in children today. I mean, when I was at school, girls learnt needlework, cooking, boys did woodwork, metalwork, or if they wanted, and we had a couple of lads who did cookery, they chose that. And I think in this throwaway society today, I suppose a needle and thread is redundant. And whatever, all these ready meals, they don't have to cook.
Pauline, about 7 or 8 years ago, and I realised that the local shop that sold a needle and thread had shut down where I live.
Oh, did you? Oh, you were the one who wanted it, were you?
And I just wanted to sew a button on a jacket, and I went out, couldn't find one anywhere. It took me ages.
Well, I'll tell you something. One of my sons has got a few friends, and this girl, it's not an exact girlfriend, they're just ordinary friends, not relationships, like. And she didn't know how to mend this item of underwear. And he said, oh, my mum will do it, because I have every colour cotton that you want, and I have to mend it. Didn't have to, but I offered to, and mend it like new, because I'm like a perfectionist, and she hadn't got a clue how to repair stuff. A girl in her 20s, and I don't suppose her mother's taught her, and this is what brought this to me. They haven't got the skills, and I don't know if they still do cookery in school, needlework, and things like that now. I don't know if all schools do it, but it was compulsory in my day, and these are all the things, and I suppose with the modern day, oh, we'll chuck that if there's a tear in a dress or something, we'll go and buy something new. But with me, I had a big family of 7, and you had to be more frugal, make all your own food, and cook everything, and there weren't the ready-mades anyway till later on, but it was more nutritious, and I still do it now, flavour, herbs and spices.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stand ready-mades. I think you learn life skills when you've had a big family and you've learnt where you've had to manage. And I'd still do it even if I had money, because I think there's such a waste in society today that that these people, they don't learn the skills.
Well, I think you reminded us that, and we're all feeling slightly guilty. I'm just guilty because I couldn't find a shop that sold the stuff. We'll speak again, Pauline. It's very nice to speak to you. Wish you well. Thanks for the call. Right, talkSPORT, 10:53 and 10:89 a.m. It's 08704 20 20 20. 08704 20 20 20. 25 minutes away from 2 o'clock. We're talking about today's events. We're also talking about a decision to expand the concept of CCTV, this time with a speaker. So as people are going around the town, the CCTV system is tracking them, as it does. And then if they're caught on film, the system can talk to them. And you know that they won't want to hear it. But can you see that being more efficient in terms of interracial harmony, interreligious harmony? Should we have talking CCTV? 08704 20 20 20. Graham's in Bradford. Hello, Graham. Good morning.
Hello, Mike. Yeah, we've already got that CCTV speaking camera thing in Bradford.
How's it going down?
Well, you walk past the camera points and it says, beware of thieves and keep your valuables safe. And I don't know whether it's linked up to some central control office. I assume it is. But there's 1 or 2 in the actual centre where all the bars are.
Yes.
So I don't know how effective it is, but
well, apparently it's so effective they're thinking about putting it around the rest of the country.
Right. Well, if it works, it works. But I rang about the actual the Muslim thing that's been going on.
Yes.
Well, as far as I know, there's about 1 billion Muslims in the world. So that's about 1 in 5, is it, or 1 in 6?
1 in 6.
1 in 6, 6 billion people. So it's 1 in 6 people are Muslims. And in Britain, I think the official figures is about 1.8 million Muslims, say 2 million, in a population of about 60 million. So that's about 1 in 30, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
About 1 in 30.
Yeah.
And I just think
136.
1 in 30, is it right? I just think there's so much media coverage about this thing, and it's like it seems to be disproportionate, really. And I know there's been problems and everything, but it just seems like giving it all this publicity and inviting people on to speak and stuff, and it just seems to stir things up, make things even worse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if not talking about it won't make it go away, will it? I think we've got to talk about it. The advantages we could have if we're talking about it is that we can get an understanding of what each other is looking for.
Yeah, I understand it has to be mentioned, but you see, the majority of Britain really isn't you know, it doesn't have a Muslim population. It's only like the northern towns and cities, and some in the Midlands, and then London. The rest of the UK is just like it was probably 100 years ago in a sense, and.
I think it's a good point you make. There are only certain parts of the UK. So in going out as we are tonight on talkSPORT, and we're all over the country, there'd be people listening and saying, really? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
If they don't buy the newspaper or watch the television, they won't know. But I think it's a point, Graham, but it's like all troubles, you know, it gets sorted out when people start talking and just take away the inclination to rev up certain members of society by just pressing the right buttons and making them angry. That's what we don't need. Thank you very much, Graham. If you'd like to be part of the programme, I'd like to talk to you, it's 08704 20 20 20. If you want to send me a text, you're very welcome. It's 50p plus usual handling, 81089, 81089, or email talksport.net, talksport.net. In just a moment, we're going to try Ken, who's in the Highlands. We'll try now, see if he's there. Hello, Ken. No, he's not there. No, we'll have to wipe that. We'll talk to the great Stuart next up. talkSPORT, where it's just 22 minutes away from the top of the hour.
The Game.
Sensational!
With Rodney Marsh.
Off we go again.
And Adrian Durham.
Are you having a laugh?
This afternoon from 4.
I can't wait.
Hold on! On talkSPORT. The untouchables of drive time sport.
You send one of ours to the hospital, we'll send one of yours to the morgue. What kind of attitude is that? A winning attitude. Dear, oh dear.
The Silver Fox and the Ginger Whincher.
Don't panic, we're only having a bit of a laugh.
Going at it.
He's off!
Every weekday afternoon.
Go on, the push! I knew there was something wrong.
The Game with the good guys.
He's Rodney Marsh, I'm Adrian Durham.
This afternoon from 4.
Go!
DAB Digital Radio.